Hope you're having a good day so far. We coming to you live. It could be Tuesday morning, Tuesday night. Everything is all right. So we are doing good. We chilling. We're in a good mood today. We're gonna see what's up. We're gonna come on here. We're gonna talk about it. Get into it. Be on for a little while. See if anybody comes through. Cause I mean I know that last week people didn't come through yesterday. We'll see if we got anything. I gotta go grocery store soon, so we're gonna be on here for a little while. So we're gonna come on here and do some hollering. We're gonna holler at your boy. Could be early Wednesday morning. Depends on where you are in the world. Sometimes I be losing track of stuff. So we're in chill mode. Let me see. Let me get this thing set up. Gotta get my stuff set up. I don't know why I be doing this now. Used to do it on the first time. We're gonna get a good question real quick, so we're gonna get into this thing real quick. Get this thing going real quick. Okay, we're live, right? Okay, we're live right now, so we just send out links. Coming to you live today. Coming to you live today. All right, I am now live officially. I'm on here now, so we're gonna see what's up. Send all the links out, so people want to come on, feel free. Um, anyway, what's happening? How you doing? How you doing? Hope you're having a good day out there. So yeah, what you feel about this government strike? Do you feel it needed to end? So we're gonna see what people about this government strike. Do you feel it needed to end? So we're gonna see what people gotta say. I think that people should get their snaps. However, the Democratic Party went out like some weasels. Um, you gotta fight. You gotta fight. You can't be no buster. How you doing? You gotta fight for what's going on. It's embarrassing that but they don't care about you. And they get into this whole thing. No, it's just a disaster. Both sides are embarrassing. I'm like, you got a convicted guy that's running your country. He talks insane. He's narrow minded. He's racist. He's divisive. And the other side, they too scared to say anything. And then you got Supreme Court don't want to do nothing. It's embarrassing. It's almost like they waited for Veterans Day, like they wanted to use a day to, to just say, okay, we'll go along with whatever, because they're gonna get their money. You know. Yeah, well, it's it's embarrassing. They allowed that insurrection. They allowed all that stuff to transpire, and this is what they got. So it's pretty embarrassing. But that's what they like. You know, it's pretty embarrassing to say the least. So it's definitely gonna be making the rounds, and it impacts other countries. And I watched that football game with Washington Detroit Sunday, and he got booed, and rightfully so. But people got to stand for something, no? Because if you don't stand for something, you go for anything. So, but anyway, hope everybody's doing good today, though. I will be on here for a little while. I'll see what kind of vibe I got. So, anyway, hope everybody's doing good today. We should get some feedback on this, though. Yeah. People are going to be split on this because I think that there was like, are you going to fight? Or are you going to sit there and kind of like, what you going to do? So, you know, I don't know. I don't care for none of it, though. I think it's demented, and I just think it's all bad. So they doing what they do, which ain't about nothing. Anyway, hope everybody's doing good, though. And if you got anything you want to talk about, we can talk about it. It depends. We'll be on here to see if people want to come on and talk. So feel free to come on. Don't be scared. Hit that like button. Hit that poll question, and whatever else you want to get into, let me know. Also, people start doing the memberships and everything like that and donations, and I will have more specialized treaties. Yes. I haven't really talked about it much to advertise it, but I haven't figured out how to, you know. But there are ways, though, to feel free. And if you want to join in, just say something. I welcome it. I will have more in stock. Of course, I have a lot of stuff in stock. And we'll go from there. We will definitely go from there. Well, they sign in the paperwork, but they got to make sure it passes through, you know. But it was still embarrassing, though. It ended, but did it really end? Yeah. So ended in one capacity, not ended in another capacity. They say Trump's behind, though. Even though I don't know, again, I don't understand why the parties are so quick to want to just, if you've got a real situation, you should get that thing remedied. Should be in the coming days or week, probably before Thanksgiving. But the problem is that it's gonna throw a monkey in the wrench for a lot of folks because we're at the halfway point of this month already. So some people are gonna have to wait to get their back paychecks, the SNAP. It's a whole lot of just trade off. That's all it is. It's just, you know. So it's it's embarrassing. There is no reason why they should ever have that kind of situation, and they have made matters worse, and they've got no one to blame but themselves. So, and think about it, you still got this turkey for 3 more years. So just let that sink in. He just getting started at the most, you know. hmm That's embarrassing. Anyway, I hope everybody's doing good though, and we're gonna be here talking for a little while. He controls the situation. He's got his speaker, Mike Johnson. You know, Johnson is his right hand man, so they vote. They all with it. But I do think that a lot of the people that are Republicans, they're getting off the ship while when they know that they're gonna be lost seats next year, and they know that the musical chair starts, and so it's gonna be different. It is. They want to basically have a say about how they legislate monies, and they want to turn into like a pyramid. And I think that that's one of the things that you're gonna find out messing with people's insurances, and you know what he done is just cut into government workers, and they don't want to make anybody feel like they have access to do what they, it's just really bad. Well, I'm gonna tell you like this: I kick it in the UK too, and I have connection to both places. I keep with politics because I will tell you something: everything that's happening in one place is happening in another. Just like how Trump hung out with King Charles and the whole thing with Epstein and Prince Andrew, it's all connected. So I tell somebody, don't think that you can hide under a bird's nest and not think it can't happen to where you are, because all this is connected. And China is going to have a say in all of it. And Putin is going to have a say in all of it, in Gaza and all that stuff that's going on is all connected. Bill Gates is connected to it too. So just don't think because where you from that you ain't that you covered. I follow it because of the legal ramifications of it all. I don't want anything to have to think about it. However, it's a reality because he makes everybody take notice of what he's doing with his antics. So, oh well, I just like to read. Oh, that's all it is. Because it's only a handful of people, that run everything. That's a handful, and Bill Gates is one in those hands. You once you start to read, it's like let me give you an example. So I saw Prince Harry and Meghan. They were at the Kris Jenner party in Hollywood, the Bezos. And I say that because a lot of the big names and play see that from Diddy to the all this stuff is connected. It's all connected. And see, Trump's a link to that too. So they all connected. They'll have you thinking that, oh, that's just that sort of thing. No, it's all connected. Yeah, once you start to see things unfold, it's like it starts to make sense and it starts to not be so far away. That's not a conspiracy, that's a fact because if you watch how these cats they pick these presidents, they pick these people. You notice a handful of names and a handful of people. They don't have them by accident. It's not, there's a reason. Like if you follow American politics, you know good and well with a straight face, you ain't gonna go behind Obama with two old white guys back to back and women getting locked out. Whereas in other countries, you've had women, men, uh, administrators. You had them as prime ministers. Why America so slow? Why America so behind the eight ball? Think about it. Yep. So somebody's definitely pushing agendas. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it's all a club. Get in where you fit in. What's happening? How you doing? Thank you for coming through. Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. Well, what they're doing is so like how we communicate is gonna be the norm. I mean, you always see the zooming, and don't be surprised if they ever have another shutdown or something. Don't be surprised, because I mean, they everything they're building is that they're gonna make everything digital. They putting people remote on purpose. So I got running jokes. I said you'll be able to order up a wife, or if your woman order up a husband or something. That's what they doing. Yeah, no, they got carless people, carless, but they got carless. But I'm just saying, you see stuff happening. You go into places now, and you'll be surprised. Automation is the norm. You know, they really are. You know, removing things that you once knew. That's becoming a thing of the past. So yeah, there's a whole different world. And of course, like with AI taking over with music and stuff, I mean, they're just generating everything they can. Who just got fired? Who? Who? I don't know because I haven't been on. Well, Fox News is bought and paid for. They be lying all the time, and they're comedians. Who just got fired? You can't come on here and say guess who, and then you don't tell me who the name is. I know about old boy with the Giants. Oh well, that ain't no surprise. Don Lemon used to be on CNN, and he has a podcast, and he broke down a lot of commentary about a lot of stuff. He's a very knowledgeable cat. I like Don. That's not a surprise, Tim. They suck. And the problem that you run into, I don't fire him because Luca's in shape and playing pretty good for the Lakers. Fire him because of what you got. He Don Lemon is a very knowledgeable journalist. He used to be on CNN, and he covers a lot of track. No, Nico, they suck right now. They in for a long season. Well, they stuck with a bunch of old heads because Anthony Davis done broke down. It's not the worst trade ever. I wish you'd stop saying that. If you ain't well, if you're under, I'll say this: if you're under 30 or so, you can get away with saying that. Anybody over 30, not gonna say that. He shouldn't have been fired. The real problem, I'm gonna tell you what the real problem is the pieces that they brought in, and I'm not talking about Anthony Davis. Kyrie can't stay healthy, and Clay Thompson is a bust. He old. That's the problem. And then also Jalen Brunson. They missed out on Brett Jabry. See, I know it's fashionable What about George Benson giving it night? I know it's fashionable to say the AD trade, well, that's not their problem though. It's the others that's the real problem. I don't think trading Luka is the worst thing. I think that the Kyrie Irving, Klay Thompson, Jalen Brunson is the real problem. Think that's the real problem. Because Jalen is a certified guard. They miss out on that, you know. Well, yeah, because the boy got a lot of money involved. That's what's up. We suck. What you want to go home? We suck. What you want to do? You think I'm gonna sit here and lie to you? We suck. Okay, what you want to know? Ask me a question, I'll answer it. What you want to know? I'll be the first to tell you we suck. Oh, give me the night. Okay, okay. That was the question that was part to me from this thing here. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. I didn't get the I did because I didn't ask it. Okay. Sorry about that, Chaz. That was brought up by the it came up on the selfie. Yeah, because you can't stop the run. No, I don't think Green Bay's done. Because Green Bay defense, and they were in all three of the games that they lost. They choked Cleveland and they choked to Carolina. If they win those, if they think about it, they right now they 5-3. They could 5-3-1. They could easily be 9-1-1. My go-to care if I had to pick a song, "The Way You Make Me Feel," Michael Jackson, or the Candyman. Because I never forget, I did that one time, and it, yeah, Candyman is probably my one. I know. You know what? Why they didn't support Dirk Nowitzki? I never understood that. I never got that. But what I'm going to say for Nico Harrison is simple. Um, yeah, but Jonathan Taylor should get the MVP. I don't want to hear about no quarterback because to me, him and Saquon Barker are almost like the same person. I don't want to hear about no quarterback. If he don't do no stupid stuff and fumble the ball at the 1 yard line, JT is a bad dude. He been bad for years. He should get the MVP. The problem with Matthew Stafford is simple. They're not. They got to beat Seattle. They pretty much got to win out for him to get MVP. I don't think he'll get MVP if they don't win out. If Seattle finishes with a better record, they don't. He don't get it. But I have no doubt with Jonathan Taylor. Yeah, I have. But what is Jonathan Taylor doing? Because he didn't freed up Daniel Jones, who's starting to resort back. Jonathan Taylor is balling. See, everybody don't never want to give a running back their due. Quarterbacks get all this love, and I'm not taking nothing from Stafford, but they're not the best team. There's a lot of the teams in the division that's got the same win loss. No one saw the Colts being this good. Thank you for coming through. Appreciate you, and do come back again. It was nice conversating with you about some real good topics. Thank you. I'm not taking nothing. Peace out. I'm not taking nothing from him, but I think Jonathan Taylor will be my MVP. I'm one of those people that don't think a quarterback should get it every time. That's all. And they got to beat Seattle. If they beat Seattle, you got a strong case, especially if he comes out good. No, no, because they didn't play well enough. And also, their division is garbage. Choked the first game against the Bills. So, no. He can stat pad with the best of them. He'll probably get like in the top 5 or 6 votes, but they fell behind too bad. If they beat New England, if they went out, though, he'll probably finish in top 4. But that because the division is lousy and what they're dealing with, he won't get too much love. And he shouldn't. Because that division is so bad that he could miss half the season and still come back and win. That's not a good division. That's not. And Cincinnati, even though Flacco was old and all that, they shouldn't be that bad on defense. Their defense is horrible. See, if you got to ask this question, as long as he's been playing, then he's not a Hall of Famer. That's your answer in your question. I got a buddy of mine who once said that. It's so true. Because I don't think the MVP necessarily means because his stats are there. So I got a video coming out. If y'all even bother to still watch my videos, but it won't be out for a while that I did about him. And I was actually talking about Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen. And I said if they win a ring, Sam Darnold right now is a front vote getter. What's happening? How you doing? Sam Darnold is over Matthew Stafford right now. Why? Because he proved last year wasn't a fluke. Seattle's a very good team, but they don't have a Jefferson at wideout on this team, but he's putting up incredible numbers. He's over him right now. Yeah, but if you're really close with this lady in your career with all them stat pad and all the stuff you did, then you really ain't in it. I think he got to win another ring. I didn't say the best quarterback in the league. He's not the best quarterback in the league. Did Patrick Mahomes die or something? Did I get the memo at 8? So it depends on what part of the world you in. It was already been remembered. Um, Veterans Day. That doesn't make him the best quarterback in the league. You go ask somebody, do you think he better than Mahomes? It's not about a better year. Yep, I already know. I went to a service. I saw it. Went to a service, and in America, it's also Veterans Day. Yeah, they showed it was Jason Dart is on the bench though. He ain't gonna be playing. Caleb Williams. Now I'm gonna tell you something. They're the most exciting team to watch. They're like NBA team. The last 5 minutes of a game, the last minute, the Bears are crazy. Yeah, well, Jason Dart ain't no MVP consideration. Caleb ain't either. Only if Kansas City was to win out. They win like 5, 6 in a row, but no, he won't be. But it wasn't for him not trying. He played pretty good. He's played pretty good. I don't know how to say that name, so I'll just say KR. You said who's the best quarterbacks, and then you change you flip the narrative. Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes are still better than Matthew Stafford. So is Lamar Jackson. All three of them are still better than him. I think Jalen Hurts doesn't get enough love. He should get love. Drake Maine is gonna get more love than Matthew Stafford, if you must know. And that pains me to have to say that. That's the name that it will be. Because if the Seahawks win, they run in the NFC aside from playing Philadelphia. KR. If I took his body of work against Matthew Stafford, I'm taking Lamar. The only thing you got over it is a Super Bowl. It's not debatable. Because Lamar Jackson won 2 MVPs. And hey, he could be. What's going on? How you doing? Good to see you, JW. Thank you. You you ask somebody who been watching football, they ain't gonna tell you that. Look, I like stat pad. He come a long way, but Lamar is one. Like I got a video. All I'm gonna say, if you watch my videos, it's coming sometime. Where I said that if Lamar and Josh Allen were to win a ring before Stafford wins again, because they got stats, they bet overall. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Super Bowl is a Super Bowl, but it doesn't make that you better. Let me give you a case in point. We talking about American football right now. That's what see. Think about it. Lamar Jackson's almost on some no killer Djokovic tip, or on the Shea Gilchrist Alexander. It's not hard to know. It's about a game of yards and moving the ball, and it's all on the line. The big burly guys that push the line and who can control the line. It's different than England soccer football. But it's the same thing about people reacting and flopping and acting. There's some similarities. It requires athleticism. Well, thank you for coming through. It's not really. I got more of a problem with his coach. I don't think they prepare for big games. I think Matt LaFleur is a stat padding coach. Oh, well, it's just about moving forward. It's all about the line moving yards. Okay, cool. I'm not gonna move Jordan Love. I'm not letting him off the hook, but I don't think that's the reason why they losing. I think they just don't prepare for big games. I think their offense is struggling. Their defense has been in the, like I said before. Think about it. 3 games, 9 points. You win 2 of those games, you're what? Uh, you're what? 8-1-1 or some crap. All right, well, thank you for coming through. Appreciate you. And maybe you'll come back again. So that's all I'm gonna say about that. I'm gonna say it for him if he feel the need. The problem is Aaron Rodgers is an old man. What do you expect at 41? He been playing for how long? I mean, you gotta remember something. Aaron Rodgers was playing Tina uphill. What's happening? You gotta remember something. The cat's been playing back when MySpace was in the streets, or when think about how long he been playing. He throws bad picks. He threw a couple bad picks. His eyesight went off. You know, I just said your name. I said Tina, and you got to introduce who you are because I don't know who you are. The problem is that Tomlin's got to watch what he says because he's stuck with old Rudy Pooty quarterbacks. You know, and whose fault is that? Steeler management don't want to put nothing. They already passed him in the standings. So thank you for making me first. Appreciate it. Shh, Pittsburgh ain't gonna win no more. You act like that's some. I'm not dissing you, but come on now. They'd already passed Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh ain't win no more. Pittsburgh sucks, y'all. They is brutal. Their defense is horrible, and that game against the Chargers, it looked bad, 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 bad. They used to beat them. Could be. I'm not gonna find out though. But the problem with Pittsburgh is that they can't beat nobody that's legit, and they're in for a struggle. And of course, Lamar's gonna pass that up, but don't get excited because okay, you got to go. I can't have nothing like that. Marino, Marino. That's not up for discussion. You can get me with all the stats Aaron Rodgers got in his 4 MVPs in the Super Bowl, but I'll take Dan Marino. Well, for my eyesight between those two, because I ain't super familiar, but if I was going to pick, I'd probably say Messi. I have to give it to Messi. I had to go with Messi on that. Thanks for the topic, though. More moon. I said. I said moon. I'm taking Marino and Warren Moon. Give me some future topics that I'm gonna use though. For pure passing. Yeah, I'm taking Moon. Where are you from? Because before people ask me. Well, Moon could throw that thing. Breeze, UK as well. Moon, people don't even realize, lost 6 years of his career because the NFL was so racist and would let him play. He came over, he still was throwing. He had incredible percentage ratings. He was right between Montana and Marino his first year. No, I'm not no 10. I'm in a crib. I'm inside. It's just that I wear my clothing like this. I'm very much inside. Very comfortable, very much in a chill mode. You can't have the kind of streams and stuff I have and the stuff like that if I was in a tent because it's kind of windy outside. It's not super windy, but you know what I mean. Yes, Moon. You kidding me? He had the whole thing. If he'd have had a cupcake division like Breeze had with New Orleans, Moon would have won a ring or two more. Breeze to me underachieved. Okay. Well, no, I'm gonna explain something to you. He went to Canada because the NFL was too racist to let a black quarterback play at the time. That's why he spent most of his time. Yeah. But the USFL was a good league, and Donald Trump wrecked it because he was trying to compete with the NFL. One of his many times he put his foot deep squarely up, and people didn't really get the memo, and they still didn't learn. And what their love affair they had with him, I just had to shake my head. I remember because I remember 83, 84. Philadelphia Stars were a great team. Jim Moore was a head coach, and Trump owned the New Jersey Generals, would happen to have Herschel Walker as a running back, and Doug Flutie, I think, was quarterbacking. And I remember Charlie Steiner. No, I wouldn't say that. It's windy, but I wouldn't call that. Because if you ain't experienced one of those, they ain't hardly the same. Okay. Keep on hitting that likes up. The poll questions is getting good. 71% saying yes. Okay. Okay. Some more people. Okay. Did you see it? I ain't see it because I'm not really that interested. I might. I mean, I'll peep it out. He shouldn't have been playing defense. That's not what they signed him for. I know they lost that close game to San Antonio last night. Victor Wimby hit them two threes. I saw that. If San Antonio can get Darren Fox and they can just play a nice brand of half court ball and stay consistent, they gonna be a problem. I'll check it out, but I think it's good for people who can't stand him. He can play. Now he has to keep his body and be able to balance himself up. But I like the pull up threes. He looked like Kevin Durant was in his ear. Nice pull up. Thank you so much. Well, it's only great because I got great people coming through. Takes the people to connect. I'm over it because that's what the NBA wanted. So it's not surprising to me no more. You know, that's what the NBA want. And the NBA gets what they want. They're gonna try to manipulate. I mean, Joel Embiid shot threes too. Now, can you win some rings? That's what we want. We don't care about you shooting 99 threes. We want to see if you can win. Okay. Well, I hope you enjoy yourself. Thanks for coming through. I always appreciate everybody that comes through. Thank you for coming through. Yeah, I just think that if you grew up in a certain area, it might be tough for you. But pins, you know, it's a different NBA, and I've been seeing it now, so it's not. It doesn't really do much. I'm not surprised by it. I'm more surprised about guys who are 7 plus who can't shoot the three, and they're gonna have to ride the pine because they ain't got no room for them. I think when I saw Brooke Lopez when Milwaukee when he's hitting all those shots, I thought, yep, get 15 to 20 points out of you. You're gonna have to make about 4 or 5 threes a night. All right, take it easy now. Okay. All right, we got some more votes coming through. For keep on hitting the like up if you're still on. Keep on doing it. Appreciate everybody. It's very much lively today. It's very much appreciated. Thank you so much. Hope people enjoying, and taking part in Veterans Day. Telling people thank you, showing love. Okay. All right. Let's see what we got real quick. Okay. Hmm. Go see what we're working with. I figured nobody's gonna. It's kind of cold off with the comments though. So. Hmm. That's debatable. His postseason works against him. He had a great talents around him, so that's debatable. That's very debatable. His talent level, but his lack of postseason, and I think that the kind of talent he had around him, it'll work against him. You know, because then you're trying to say that he's better than Kobe, he's better than Dwayne Wade. I'm not gonna say that. Probably with another ring or two, I could make that case, but one ring and what he has the talent. Well, yeah, because they lost to the Celtics. And I also think that you got to have the right team, and so many things have to work in your favor. I do think he's probably arguably a top 15 player ever. I'll give you that. But, and he also, the elephant in the room, he'll always be seen as the second baddest white guy behind Larry Bird. I don't make the rules. I just tell you what the room says. And so I think that that's one of the things. But yeah, if you lose a lot, people tend to get funny and, they, you know, if he would have won two more rings, yeah, it'd be harder against him because he's a logo, GM greatness, one of 15 greatest players ever. But a lot of those L's and not winning. So yeah, you could go against you gotta go against Bill Russell. It's hard. But I think that he just didn't finish up. That's all. They had some incredible talent. They just didn't finish up. So, but I don't hold it against him. But I can't put him as the second best point two guard either. Can't do it. But I'll say this: he belongs in the conversation with the top tier. I'll give you that. I mentioned that on here. I mentioned that. Remember, I mentioned the Heat. I said he's the kind of firepower that the Heat would need. I said that on this live stream. If his attitude's in the right place, that's a steal. And he perfect for them. Young, athletic, team up with Bam, give him something they ain't had. Minnesota with him and Ant Edwards, exactly what's needed because that would free up Rudy Gobert. Could freelance. That would be scary. What you mean you don't get it? I just got to explain it to you. Him and Ant Edwards, they suck on the perimeter. They don't have a point guard. Michael Conley old. Let Conley rock the pine. You get Jaw with Edwards and and yeah, it work. Yeah. Julius Randle can stretch. Do you see what that would do? You see Jaw commands 2 or 3 in the lane. He learns how to play point guard. He'd be scary. He plays point guard, swings at the ant. You got Red. That's a scary squad. To get those 3, they're gonna be. They might come. I don't think they beat OKC, but they'll be almost where they've been. That would be a huge move. Either one of those teams benefit. Those are and not because I'm a Heat fan, but those are the 2 spots that make the most sense. Does he go somewhere where he can really take off, and a team that's like on the cusp or something? Well, the Timberwolves been knocking on the door. The Heat could definitely make some noise in the East with a move like that. I like Ja. What do you mean you're surprised I'm excited about it? I like Ja. He just gotta stop being a knucklehead. Ain't nobody saying he ain't got no spring in him. He just gotta stop doing stupid stuff. That's all. He stopped, jacking people's 10 speeds and duct taping and doing stupid stuff. That's a steal. Because Pat Riley needs something like this. If you're a Heat fan, you know what I mean. Heat fans know exactly what I mean about a move like this, what it could mean. If it's done the right way, it's a huge clapback. Because he'd be better off in a situation. Put nothing safe in the contract. Because if he goes to Miami, he knows that he's on his last rope. You saw what happened with Jimmy Butler. And Jimmy Butler is a lot more conditioned. That's exactly why. But Pat Riley, they gotta move booties in the seats. So let me explain something to you. It's a star-driven league. This guy was supposed to be the face of the league. Goes to Miami. He has to play with Wiggins, Bam, and Hero come back. He needs to because he's playing in Memphis. And listen, they still stuck on Elvis. Okay. He needs somewhere where he can shine. Can't shine there no more. Shoot, they become a threat to come out the East. Won't you tell the truth? Especially he healthy and he motivated. If he healthy and he motivated, and remember, all he got to do is play his role. Bam can do his time. He'll come back. They can still be a threat. Right now, they might could get out of first round, but it'd be tough. But it depends who they play. They have really played, that Denver game was huge. But yeah, they probably need a star player, man. They need star power. They ain't got no star power. I like power, but that's doesn't say much. You're not. First of all, Boston ain't playing this year. Okay. Indiana ain't playing this year. Okay. Can you beat Milwaukee? Can you beat Philly? Can you beat New York? They need a star player that would put them over the weight. I'm telling you what I know. They need a star player. Well, he gonna get tested. He got a grown man build, but he got to get a grown man mindset. He gonna have moments where he look good, and he gonna have moments where he look like a puppy. So you got to balance it out. They got to get a point guard. They got to get people that can play, and they got to get people that are healthy to make it formulate. Because he's in a situation, a no-win situation. Oh yeah, he's growing on the job. It's just they're gonna have growing pains this year. They're gonna probably be like almost tankable. I think he got a chance, but he got to have a point guard. They got to have the right pieces. That's all. You know, you give them a couple years, and they get, they start to unload and start moving some parts. Got a chance. They got to wait a couple years though. It's not about AD. Stop saying about AD, and I'm not trying to tell you. Talk about you got to talk about Kyrie. They need a guard player. It's not AD. It's not about Clay. It's about a guy like Kyrie Irving. That's where Cooper is going to be the most exposed. They need to get pieces. They either build around him or they're going to have to get younger. I wouldn't really put a lot of stock with AD. I'm not making AD no cops out. Remember, Luca got traded because they didn't see nothing that he could generate with the team. And I do think that, you know, Cooper does what he can do. They just got to go and get some younger parts, and they got to stop messing with these old guys and act like they're gonna get a run out of them when guys can't stay healthy and they can't defend. I think what got Nico really fired was the fact that Jalen Brunson, because Jalen Brunson got the Knicks pretty legit. They don't have a point guard they can count on. The stability's not there. You know, so we'll see. Keep hitting the like and pussy describe what we got. They got tension with each other. She don't like him. He don't like her. It happens. I got no problem with her because she won't kiss his behind, and that's what he likes. And every time he works with somebody, they get fired or they gotta go or something because he's always a contingency of problematic. He didn't lost 3 different people in the last 3 years. Max Kellerman, Shannon Sharp, and now you know, um what's it but who quit. So that says a lot right there. Molly, bounce. Think about it. You know. Man, he double crossing it. I'm not the biggest Michelle Beadle fan. I think she's a broke looking Michelle Pfeiffer chick, but she stayed consistent how she is. She ain't a slurper. But he has to diss her because he has to feel like he's doing something. You know. Yeah. I keep thinking about Coolio and RLV gonna come. Every time I see her, I keep thinking about Q's been a life that's waiting in a gangster's paradise. Every time I see Michelle Beadle, I'm waiting for Power and the Money. I'm waiting for Coolio to come up there and they start doing Gangster's Paradise, and LV be sweating. That's what I keep. Every time I see her, I just think, oh, Cause I be having dangerous minds going through my mind when I see her. But you know, she won't kiss his behind, and that's what I think about every time I see her. She's got that look too. But Michelle Pfeiffer was cooler though. Michelle Beadle be kind of annoying me though. She's got Karen isms about her, and she said the N word too. And I remember what she said that mess. Um, I ain't the biggest on her. But anyway, she did the best she could though. Pfeiffer bad. Pfeiffer bad. I go back with Pfeiffer back to when she did Grease too. And of course with Scarface and all the movies she did with Al Pacino, Frankie and Johnny and all that. And she did that Kennedy based one with can't think of his name now. I like her, but I don't love her. She gets down. She's interesting. She definitely fell off with something because now she was hanging out with Steven Jackson and them cats, and I thought, oh boy, you know, you know, her and Matt Barnes and all that. She knows her stuff, but she definitely got white ball though. She got black ball, and they don't touch her like that. Yeah, she carries herself pretty cool. Yeah, we cool. She knows stuff, and she like gets in the foyer. So, hmm I still think she and Jimmy Butler was there. Something was up during the lockdown, like that whole thing. So he never played the same after that. Well, he did play good in the postseason, but he really showed out in 2020. Hmm. Okay, seems like it's getting kind of quiet now. So if I don't hear nothing in the next couple of minutes, I'm gonna call it a day. Been on about almost an hour. Okay. All right. See what we got going on. Hmm. Okay, well, we got 16 votes, so 75% saying yes. So I guess more people are happy with the reaction back on. So more power to you. All right. I don't understand what you mean when you say they weren't playing with AB. AB who? Who's AB? You talking about Antonio Brown? Who you talking about? Well, he was a dummy. That's why. He was dumb, and he just did stupid stuff. Plus, he ain't got in that bag. If he, if his money wasn't funny and had he played his cards right, probably would have let him roll. He messed up golden opportunities, and he always thumbed his nose, and he just did stupid stuff. He threw away a Hall of Fame career. He jeopardized a relationship with Tom Brady. He was sitting in the catbird seat, had multiple opportunities, and he just found a way to just jive and mess around. So, you do stupid stuff, you're gonna win stupid prizes. That's not Einstein. That's just logic. And they knew where he was going. You know. So it depends if the case comes, what kind of lawyer he's got. Depends on what they can work against him. Well, if he can prove it, if he can prove that he didn't, if he can prove that he got enough vulnerability, then as a man started, it might work something with him. But I think he's looking at 5, 10, maybe 15. I think he been crying to get locked up almost by the way he be doing his antics because he done too much stupid stuff. He didn't want to pay child support. He had some other stuff with him, so he been running loose. Unless they can make him out to be like he's a Kanye Junior Whopper, then yeah, no. And he been running wild. He been on something for a minute. He been out of sorts, so uh, it's not gonna look good for him. And in his track record and his antics, no, he talked too much yang. I was done with him after the whole thing in Tampa Bay. He tried to pull a Ryman, but he's a little bit more goner. Just doesn't really have any foundation because he had all that acclaim and he just couldn't keep his head together. So, cats get too big headed and they just start doing stupid stuff. And I think that's what caught up with him. So, yeah. But we won't. But you see, again, what does it mean if you just threw away a Hall of Fame career and threw away your life almost? Because now this is about gonna be hard. Diddy got a better chance of getting out in 6 months than AB's got to getting out in the next 10 years. I'm gonna keep 100. R. Kelly got a better chance of getting out in the next 5 years before AB gets out. Because AB then just done some stupid stuff, which I'm just saying. He was. The difference is though Julio got to that Super Bowl though. And Julio had Matty Ryan. And and he did everything right to win. He made a heck of a catch in that Super Bowl. It's just that they choked away. And Julio needed that Super Bowl too. AB still got a Super Bowl with Tampa Bay, but he just never got his head straight. That's all. He wanted to be hood and ghetto, so yeah. I can feel for you as a black man. I can't feel sorry for stupidity. There's two different levels. And if you give too much attention and you do stupid stuff, I can't clap for you because he basically pulled a Kanye and he went all out. So let them folks try to get him up. But he had you talk about a cat that had to eat everything. Mm, yeah. So we'll see. Depends on what his lawyer can do and if they can try to make it look as less damaging. How will you remember OBJ? You talking about Odell Beckham Jr.? Is that who you talking about when I say OBJ? I don't think their window is closed because I think Josh Allen can still play. Depends on what you mean by window closed. Do you mean getting to a Super Bowl? But if they don't, well, he ain't dead. He ain't die. He same way I meant same way I remember Antonio Brown. Same way. Got a ring, lived on the streets. Same dude, except not as talented as AB, because AB actually was scary talent. OBJ um, had that catch, and he did it in New York, and he lived off of that for like 10 years, and then he kind of ended up to the Rams, and he kind of fizzled. It's kind of like a lot of flash in the pan, whereas AB was legit. It's just a shame. The Bills, this is it. This year is it. If they don't get this year, I don't see it happening. I don't think it gets any better this year. And you got to remember, Josh Allen be pushing 30 soon. So, and maybe not this year, maybe not next year. Patrick Mahomes got another ring or two in him. Where do you get your ring, Josh Allen? I don't know. I don't know. And if you don't get the right coach to coach your ego, because I told you, say what you want. People used to always say Pat Riley, Phil Jackson. No, you got to have an ego-minded coach who knows how to coach ego. If you don't have ego to match ego, it's going to be a one-sided affair. And that's what Josh is missing, is a coach who understands ego. I like, you know, Victor Cruz would be one. Plexico would be, because Plexico was a little bit more clutch. So I got to say two, and then Toomer's three, and then OBJ is fourth. But Victor Cruz was one. Victor Cruz was sick with it. He'd be doing that mambo on your butt. He had the whole thing. He just didn't have OBJ's personality. If he'd have had that, he would have been the toast of the town. Plexico was bad. He called the Super Bowl. He came up with big plays. He was integral. And Toomer was bad. He was nice. So that's how I rank him. Well, okay. Victor Cruz and him offset each other. There you go. Because Victor Cruz was flamboyant, came up big. Toomer was a really good integral part. He fit in really well. And you know what Plexico did against the Patriots and called that Super Bowl. So don't tell me that Plexico, who was a playmaker and athletic and had persona. Well, two or three, what? Two of them cats could beat OBJ, would do the same thing. They just didn't have that one catch. That's the only thing. And I like the way Toomer played. How is he not last? I think you're getting excited because he made that. I think you are. I think you're getting excited because he made that one hand catch against the Dallas Cowboys. And we romanticize everything if you win in New York and you against the Cowboys. And what did he do after that? Didn't he win against the Green Bay, was a few years later, and dropped every pass he could, and he looked bad. And he was hanging out with Bieber and all that. And he just didn't really, football was secondary. Then he ended up with the Rams. He won a Super Bowl. And he ended up with Kardashian for me. Yeah, a 3-year run, which is, but it ain't like I'm sitting. Look, when we talk about OBJ, we think about that catch first and foremost. That's all we really talk about. We don't talk about nothing else because most of his career ain't been that memorable. He got out of Cleveland smart. He was hanging out with Baker, and he got with the Rams, and everything worked out. Who do I thought had the better mark? OBJ. Because he did fit. Because you remember the Super Bowl? If he don't get hurt, remember, he could have been MVP. He got hurt before halftime. OBJ. Because that Super Bowl against them, he showed out. He showed out. He showed out. That's going to be a future video that I do, so thank you. He showed out in that Super Bowl because he would have been an MVP. AB came up big, but the way they was stocking with Mike Evans and the way the Bucks spread the field and with Gronk, he just was adding on to the party. But OBJ was as great as Cooper Kupp was. He would have been MVP that Super Bowl. He hit that slant. They had no answer for him. That was probably the best he arguably played. Now that's the closest that he probably came to AB. If he played like that, no, they're gonna get their butt toe up. They're gonna get clapped, and you already know it. They don't have a chance. Because that's why they were able to win rings, because they had that large. It's just like T.O. and Randy Moss. They were each win Super Bowls too, and they had memorable Super Bowls. It's usually cats like that who tend to get that opportunity. It's how it tends to go. It's how it tends to go. And it did work out for them because they're in the right situation. No, I don't give y'all a chance tonight. Because SGA is on fire right now. He's putting up 20 points like you drink water. And Golden State, if if uh if Herb if Heinstein, what's his name? Yeah, the center. I never can say his name right. But if they crouch like they supposed to, lean on him, he gonna get his feelings hurt. Shh, them boys is big in the middle. OKC gonna pluck them turkeys. He try to knock him in his leg. That's all he gonna try to do. OKC is toying with a lot of turkeys. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Draymond ain't gonna do nothing. Try to get that triple single. Get the two technicals, two turnovers, and check out at 2 minutes. That's probably what he gonna do. Get his Bronny James on. That's probably what he gonna do. And want none of that. SGA been playing. SGA ain't playing. That cat's putting it up. He got MVP written all over. Look, and I think Paul Pierce called it best. He said low key Kobe, and I said yeah. I said yeah. He definitely give me that aura. He's giving me that aura. And like I'm telling you, Einstein, if they get the inside game dominant, how they gonna lose? Mm. So it should be a long night for Golden State. I'm not really impressed by them. Yeah, they beat the Pacers, but this is a big different situation. You got to play defense. Hines, because I remember what he did for the Steelers, and he really was tough. 4 or 5 years ago, yeah, not now. Not now. They're gonna have to run traps, and they gotta hope that Dort and them don't go off. So the problem is with SGA is that he knows too well how to score 20 without even trying. Jimmy Butler is not a scorer, so that's one of the reasons why they are at a handicap. If you're a Warriors fan, you need another 3-point option, or you need a guy who can create options. That's why Golden State is not going to be a title contending team. And I don't know if Steph Curry's load management or what he doing or what's going on, but I'm gonna tell you like I know it. They need an alpha. They don't have an alpha on offense, and that's after Curry. They are challenged. When they go against the OKCs of the world, the Denvers of the world, teams that can exploit them, this is where they got shortcomings. Now, if they win tonight, it's because they hit some big threes and they were able to, scramble enough on defense and close up. But if OKC pounds that cake inside with them boys, it'll be a long night for Golden State. And Stein and if Chad Hogan, I'm just telling you because OKC can pound them. Give him a challenge. But hey, if he comes out cold, then what? That's the problem that you run into. That if you're a Warriors fan, I'm gonna cut it in 15 more minutes. I'm going for an hour and a half. I'll make it 15 more minutes and I'll call it a night. 15 more minutes. For me, Hines, Holt, and then Wayne. Wayne was a second tier. He was second with Marvin. I just think that Hines was carrying more with Pittsburgh, and Holt is slept on with the Rams. Because Holt was like right there with Bruce with the Rams. I like Reggie Wayne a lot, but and he played good. It's just that with the Colts situation, there was a little bit different with that juggernaut than what the greatest show on turf was in with Pittsburgh. And I don't want nobody to take the wrong way because I'm not. It's not dissing him. It's just that Hines was huge for Pittsburgh, integral. He did a little bit of everything. I never been told that. No, he came up big for what they did. He really came up big. He was versatile. Well, I like when you're asking me about those particular players, he's going to get the notoriety because he was integral to Roethlisberger's career. He wasn't the most talented receiver that they out of him and AB, for instance, but he was the most clutch. He was that dude that was dependable. He came up big, and then Hope, with Isaac Bruce aside, he was a bad dude, and Holt's been slept on. Yeah, well, that was legalized back then, but I'm saying he did a lot of stuff. Jimmy Butler ain't never scored like SGA. You need to stop with that lie. Jimmy Butler played out his best ball with Rachel Nichols in the bubble. He ain't never played like this cat. This cat, do you realize, just passed Oscar Robinson for the most straight 20 points a game, and he trails Jordan and Wilt? Do you understand the company he's in? Now, Jimmy might remind you of Jordan or something. He ain't play like this cat. Jimmy ain't never was a leading offensive juggernaut like this cat. When was it? I've been watching Jimmy Butler since Chicago, Minnesota, Philly, Miami, now Golden State. When was he ever the cat like this? There's similarities, but there's glaring differences. And the offense alone, it's not even in the same ballpark. You're kidding me. If Jimmy could score 5 or 6 more points on a regular night, he wouldn't have had to play with Steph Curry. He could have he could have done his talents in Miami. He could have teamed up with anybody. He was never a front dude. So they're not the same. I don't look at Jimmy Butler like I look at SGA. Jimmy tough. Jimmy physical. Jimmy give you problems. Jimmy ain't no frontline scorer. There's a reason why he got gush and happy to play with Steph Curry. Except Jimmy Butler doesn't average 30 points a game. He doesn't lead the league in scoring. Except SGA is more aggressive. And he makes you have to make a move, makes a bite. No one is scared about Jimmy Butler scoring a lot of points. He get a lot of free throws, but it's not like he's averaging 25 to 30 points a game. There's a gap between these two. And Jimmy never carries a team like SGA did this past year. So stop with this type trying to act like you know. And I like Jimmy Wavelength as that cat. Because SGA kept getting better and better with each passing year. And anybody who watches my videos, I was talking about SGA's rise a couple of years ago. Remember, he's been competing with Djokovic for MVP and Giannis. Jimmy Butler ain't never been in the top 3 conversation for that stuff. So right there, they're not in the same mix. SGA is the only perennial player that gets downplayed because he's look at the company he keeps. Jimmy Butler doesn't keep that kind of company. There's a big gap between the two. If Jimmy Butler played like SGA, he would have had about 3 or 4 stops less than what he's had. Somewhere between Philly, he would have not probably would have anybody may have made it in Miami. There's a big difference between the two. And for the record, I'm not, it's no dissing. I'm just stating the obvious. Okay, I got 10 more minutes before I go. Boy, that's a pretty good conversation. That's a good exchange right there. I like it when we have exchanges like that. That's good. I like to see that Jimmy Butler's got fans, though. I like that. And I like Jimmy, but Jimmy ain't on the SGA tip. I like him, though. If he were, things would be different. Please hit that like up. And please keep on hitting the poll up. Appreciate it. Okay. So everybody's kind of cooled off a bit. Appreciate everybody coming through today. Thank you so much. I'll probably cook it in about 3 or 4 minutes since everybody kind of cooled off now. We definitely hit a lot of votes. Poll has been good. The big question. Yes, probably tomorrow I'll come back one more time. I'm on a real roll with doing live streams, so probably tomorrow. I might do more extra this week because next week I won't be doing as many. So all depends on what kind of reactions and comments. So anyway, we gonna just kind of just ease up out. Give it a couple more minutes. Appreciate everybody that came through today. Okay. All right. What I'll do is I'll make it for a couple more minutes and then I'll call it a day. It's been hour 25, so that's what I'll do. Appreciate everybody that came through today though. Just checking out some stuff though. Hmm. Okay, well, I think we pretty much it's concluded now. So shit for a good while today. Appreciate everyone that came through, and we'll be back tomorrow. If thing goes all right. I guess I'll watch some hoops. It feels funny with no football tonight, but that was a trip game last night. But anyway, stay safe, stay blessed, stay woke, stay free. Appreciate everyone that came through. Had some great comments. Poll question, numbers is good. The channel, everything will still be up for a while, so you can still watch the video and everything. Thanks for everyone that came through, and looking forward to seeing you soon. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay woke, stay free, stay true. Until next time we catch you. Peace and the best. I'm out one time. See ya.